Well, here's a few tips if you want to catch more flathead on soft plastics. That's some marky shrimping. See if we can get a few more. So I'm looking at everything when I pull up to my spot. Water quality, is there bait fish jumping? Birds up on the bank as well. And I'm also checking out the water levels. So I'm fishing a really big bank at the moment, and if the tide was a bit higher, I'd be jumping up on that bank, fishing those mangrove lines, or even the weed patches up on that actual bank itself. But what I'm really hoping for at the moment is I want this water to come off the bank, and what that's going to do is it's going to condense the fish all on this deeper drop off for me. So it just means I'm going to be running my lure past more flathead on that lower stage of the tide. There we go, there's one there. I think he's a monster, but still a nice little fish. Got a good hook set on that too, so it's really important to strike those fish when they hit, because flathead have a really hard top jaw. And unless you're striking at it, you won't actually hook them up, and you'll find you'll drop a lot at the boat. So your retrieves are so important as well, and where I'm fishing is going to dictate how I work that lure. Being that it's quite weedy here, I don't want to slow roll that, because that's going to collect a lot of weed on the way back up. I'm going to tend to flick and hop, and I'm not going to flick downwards, I want to flick upwards, because that's going to help that hook point stay away from that weed. Whereas if I was to keep my rod tip down low and flick, you'll probably find it's going to dig into the ground a bit more. A feisty one, that one. So another nice table fish. I'm letting all mine go. That one go back in. Let's get another one. All right, so picking out your plastic, with so many options, it can be a little bit daunting. Most of your plastics are going to be made out of TPE, PVC, or biodegradable material. And in these situations, I'd generally be fishing TPE material. It is a lot more durable, but it's also because it's more buoyant as well. So it can just help me keep that hook point off the weed. I just find I don't foul up anywhere near as often. Color-wise, generally speaking, if the water's clean, you want a more natural looking lure, and if it's dirty, something that's darker or brighter. One thing I'm always doing too is taking note of where I'm getting my hits. If I find there's a particular edge, whether it's a drop off, inside weed edge, where I'm getting all my bites, that's where I focus my casting. So I might only work my lure for 2 meters if I know those fish are feeding on that particular line. And then if things go quiet again, I might start working it all the way back out to the boat, trying to find the next line those fish predominantly feeding on. What I'm finding here now though is that bite has died down a little bit. I'd say that's because there's not as much pressure pushing up against that bank. So they've gone a bit quiet. What I do have up here though is a nice big drain. We're going to get the last of the run out there. So I think it's probably worthwhile me just shooting up a little bit further and cover a bit more ground. It's a little bit better. I'll take it. Well, that's a little bit better. It's a nice 60s model, but that's a marky shrimp in its top lip, so it was a good hookup. Really nice, beautiful, healthy fish. Let's see if we can get a few more. Yep. Oh, yeah, that's another healthy fish, actually. Oh, I should have pulled that one. Another one. They are firing on this drain. So in the gear department, guys, I'm just running a 7-foot length rod. It's going to help you get a decent cast in. 2 to 4 kilos with a 2,500 series reel, 10-pound braid and 12-pound leader, and that's really all you need for this type of fishing, and you'll still land those monster fish on that gear. There's not a lot they can sort of snag you around on these areas, so you don't need to go too hard on them, but there we go. Always keep the line tight when you're fighting these fish. All right, well, that's been a cracking morning. Plenty of flathead, all around this size to about your 40s models. So no monsters, unfortunately, but I've had a lot of fun and a lot of bites. So I'm gonna go home, get out of this rain.